Hello, everyone. It's Shamila Ramjawan coming to you from Johannesburg, South Africa. We have kickstarted the year with incredible people on the show. And today, my special guest is Nelly Paulser from Zimbabwe. Nelly is a co-founder and event stationery designer at Graphic House Zim. Hello, Nelly. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Shamila. Thank you so much for having me here.
It's my pleasure. I'm so excited to chat to you and to get to know you a little bit better. You have such an impressive bio. So let's get right into it. Please provide a brief intro as to who Nelly Paulser is, anything about your background, family, anything that you would like to share with the audience.
Okay, Nelly Paulser. I am the co-founder, as she said, of Graphic House Zim. I am not only the co-founder, I'm also the founder of Tererai Foundation. But before all that, I'm a mother and I'm a wife. I'm a mother of 3 beautiful children, 2 boys and a girl, and as well as a wife to an incredible graphic designer as well. So yeah, that's me. I'm also a daughter as well and a sister to 2 brothers, and that's who I am.
Okay, well, I can clearly see where the graphic designing comes from.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, you both support each other. That's amazing. And
Yes.
I did go onto your website. You're doing amazing work. So we'll get to the contact details a little bit later on where people can get hold of you. But what does it mean when you say you're an event stationery designer? When I think about that, I think about doing all these fancy, beautiful cards, wedding cards, or for special occasions of events. So take me through that journey. How did that begin? Did you study something towards that, in terms of qualifications? Because remember, with the Red Corner Show, we want to inspire others, and we might have youth that are watching, and they also have these creative and artistic skills, and they would want to follow your path. So please share that with us.
Okay, all right. Actually, Nelly Paulser, I'm actually an accountant by profession.
Wow.
Strangely,
I cannot mix the two. I can't see the distinction there.
I know. I'm an accountant by profession. I went to school. I studied a bachelor's in accounting, and I actually went further to do forensic accounting. So from that end, people would wonder why. Actually, I believe that was just the stepping stone of where I was actually going to, because after that, with the economy in Zimbabwe and how things were going in Zimbabwe, it forced a lot of us graduates to first, of course, work. With me, I worked for almost 13 years to about 14 years in the industry, actually as an accountant in very big organizations. And I got most of my experience in business there because I was in middle management, and then I had experience as part of senior management. So I really got a lot of experience in the industry that way. I got an experience in different industries as well. I had exposure from manufacturing to in NGO management as well. I had a lot of exposure. And I believe that groomed me to be who I am today. Because after that, I then thought, yeah, I've been doing this for a long time, but I just feel like it's not me. It was not me. And I kept feeling that from time to time. I was doing the same thing every year. I'd wake up and I'd go to work and I'd do this job, but it wasn't giving me that fulfillment. And so I said to myself, what is it that's missing? And I need to find that one thing that's missing. So while I was on my journey in trying to find what it is that's missing, I began to notice things I liked doing on my own, not being pressured by anyone, but just on my own, things that I loved doing. And part of that was stationery. That was invitations. I liked doing that on my own. But I really didn't think much about it. When you start off, you don't really think much. It's just something you like doing. Not that you think you do a business of it, no.
But I think
But then
I think you also have the creative flair for something like that.
I think so. I really did. Because after that, I did have years of doing that. And then somewhere along the lines, I also had exposure to actually planning events. And that was mainly in college. I actually planned quite a lot of events. After college, I also planned quite a lot of weddings. But I put it all on the shelf when I looked at my career. So it was there embedded in some part of my brain at the back, trying
Yes.
to bury it. But I believe if you are called to do something, you can't run away from it. Eventually, it finds its way to creep up and it pulls you out again into that space. So years later, let me try and cut it short. Years later, I then met my husband, and he was a graphic designer and had lots of experience in the industry. But we decided, you know what, let's try and do our own thing, because we can do it. We've got the experience, and I've got the accounting background, so we can start something. And so we then started the graphics and printing side of the business. And as we were working together, I then realized to say, you know what, I feel like I'm just stifling myself in this business. I'm there, I'm doing books, but the business is still small and I can still explore other avenues of helping the business to grow. I then decided to go for training. I went out, I went to South Africa, I went to SA School of Weddings, and I got to train on something that for the first time in my life, I liked doing. And so I went there and I experienced a whole new different area that I fell in love with. And I think that's what really boosted my confidence to take up this role as a wedding stationery. Well, initially it was a wedding stationery designer. And then eventually I said, you know what, let me not limit myself because of COVID. Let me open myself to all types of events. Because as Graphic House, we had actually started exploring exhibitions and branding, and we had started doing branding. So I thought, you know what, I want to know more. I want to put my fingerprint into this business so that I leave a mark. So I took my knowledge from wedding, SA School of Weddings, and I put a little bit of accounts in it, and the business as a whole had to do with graphics and printing, and we'd gone into branding. And SA School of Weddings does teach you quite a lot on branding as well. So it's kind of just all merged. Though at first I didn't really know where it was going, but it all came together. And today, here I am, an event stationery designer, and I absolutely love what I'm doing right now.
Wow, you speak with so much of passion. And, you know, I just made a few notes from what you just said. And, you know, in terms of merging the skills, I think that is so important, especially if it's a family business. You know, you come with different skills, you put it together, and look, you have a win-win-win. Well done on that. And then I also picked up that you upskilled yourself, which is very important. And I think this is what we need to convey, you know, this type of messaging to anyone out there that wants to start something. You know, focus on what you have to offer and how you can improve on those skills. So training is so essential, and you know, you always upskill yourself and you always learn every day, because nobody knows everything. So we have to always upskill ourselves and learn and go on training courses, etc. And you know, with social media, there's a lot of free training courses that one can attend. So it's not an excuse of I cannot because I don't have the financial means to do it. But well done on that. You know, you have quite a lucrative business. And also what I like and took away from that was you personalized everything. You found your niche and you decided that that's the route you want to go into, and customized it. And you found that you have something to offer to your community or in your country. But just, you know, still on business, you know, we still talk about COVID and how the pandemic affected businesses. What impact did it have on your business?
Okay, on our business, I think with us, we actually found we grew during the pandemic time.
Wow.
Just before like the early days of the pandemic, we just noticed, where we were going to in terms of the lockdown season coming in. And it made us really rush through, sit down and start discussing to say, there's this thing that's likely to come in called lockdown. What are we going to do? Because our business might be on hold. What does it mean? How can we make sure that we can still service the market even though we are at home? So we sat down, we started to brainstorm. Then we realized to say our business wasn't on social media. There was no way of communicating to anyone out there if we were at home. Yet everybody knew us from the office. So we said, you know what, for the first time, let's take that extra step and start putting ourselves out there. Let's put ourselves all over social media. Let's put our website out there. Let's have ourselves visible in the marketplace, even though we are at home, but virtually we are right out there in the marketplace. So we opened up our social media pages. We started making sure our website was coming up, and we really put ourselves out there. For the first time, we took that courageous step to actually say, you know what, let's put our work out there for everyone to comment, for everyone to get to see what we do. Mm-hmm. It was surprising, Shamila, because so many people started responding to our posts. So many people wanted our services. People were now arranging. Like, for instance, we found that though most businesses were closed, mm-hmm. we had businesses that were essential services, and those ones were still operational. We had service providers that were providing for essential services, and those also were very, very much open. So we said, you know what, these are the people that are reaching out to us. So yes. They're seeing our post. Let's not stop. Let's make sure our work is out there. We are ready to serve them. Let's find a way to make sure that we are their number one place to come to when they want graphic designing, when they want flyers, when they want anything done. If they want printing done, we'll find a way to make sure it's done. So we brought some machines home and we started doing the business from home. We made mm-hmm. sure that all the essential services could get there. If there were stickers for their product, if they were their flyers, if they needed any books done, receipt books, we were doing them from home. And we made sure that we were delivering on time. They knew all they needed to do is reach out to us, whether it was by social media, whether it was to us through WhatsApp. We just made ourselves available. Just at a click of a finger, you could get hold of us and we could make sure that we are working on it and we are ready to deliver. And that made us grow. Our biggest, I think, opportunity to grow was during the pandemic. And we took hold of that opportunity, and here we are. We were not affected by anything during the pandemic. We were actually making money during the pandemic because most people were closed. And by the time most businesses realized that it was time to try and service the market as well, we had been servicing it for quite a long time.
Incredible. Well done. It's so nice to hear these good news stories, especially during COVID, because a lot of small businesses and big businesses shut down during the pandemic and afterwards as well, and lots of job losses. So what is your staff complement? Do you have a big staff complement?
We actually don't have a big staff complement.
So it's hard work, right?
We're actually a team of 6. We've got 4 males and 2 females. So it's not yet balanced the way we would want it to be balanced. But so far, the team works well because we're able to all come together and juggle, whether it's on the side of just going out to brand. Everyone goes out, including the women. We all go out and we brand. When it comes to events, the guys come in and they help us as well in terms of event branding. So there's no real, in our business, we cannot put a line to say the women stop here or the men stop here. We all there and we all the same and we all work the same. We just told ourselves, guys, it's the team. And if we're going to make the business grow, we all have to get involved. And if we're all working late to make sure something is delivered on time, we all do that. So it's teamwork, really.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes.
Okay, so speaking of women, you're passionate about women in business, and your wish is to see more women empowered, especially in their particular environments. So with this, you landed a role as an Impact Her ambassador for Zimbabwe. What is this about?
Okay, Impact Her is actually it's an organization that bridges the gap between financing and women in business. It also is a platform where women in business get empowered. If they've got a business that's running, we empower them with websites. They've got opportunities to actually apply and win website opportunities. We've had so many women who've been empowered with actually having a website so that they could put their businesses on the virtual platform. We've also had opportunities for women to apply for grants as well, grant funding. We link them to different grants because what we realized is that a lot of women are in business, but they just don't know where to get the money, the funding to boost their businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So allowed sort of a bridge for the women to know where to find funding. So we bring these to their attention whenever there's an opportunity available, we bring it to their attention so that they can also have an equal opportunity to apply for funding. And we teach them how to put their businesses on Google. We teach them so many things that are business related so that they can stand on international markets and be equal and not feel like they are from Africa and they are not able to compete with other businesses. We are trying to encourage them to give them, in fact, that confidence to say, you might be small, but you can grow. You can put your business out there and your business can grow. And we're actually trying to teach them that the marketplace is open. It's open for women as well. It's open for women who are still starting their businesses. And it's open for you if you want to export. It's open. And we don't want women to feel like it's for the men or it's for the bigger organizations. No, we are saying if you are good at your business and you've put your all in growing your business, even if it's still small, the fact that you wake up every day and you are working hard to make sure that you deliver. We need more people like that in the world. We need more people servicing the market because it allows also the customers to have choice and preferences. Because if we limit the market, it means we're limiting the customers to what they can get. Everyone has a preference of what they like and how they like things done. But we are also encouraging the women to say, allow yourself to be on the marketplace. Allow your business to be out there. If someone wants to order from outside the country, they should be able, open an online store. You should be able to get business from outside the country and see your business grow that way. Because sometimes your market is not necessarily limited to your area, but your business might actually be overseas, and that's where it will actually grow. But how do you do it when you're in Africa? Use the virtual platforms. Put your products on your online store and start selling. And that's what we are trying to really help them so that they can see the light and see which routes to take in order to grow their businesses.
Yes.
So yes, that's what I'm involved in that as an ambassador in Zimbabwe, trying to also allow the Zimbabwean ladies to also know that there's this platform and it's available to you. And there's a support structure for you. So Zimbabweans are now sort of getting to know about Impact Her. Though I believe we still have a lot of work to do. But I'm glad that they're coming on board. They're getting more interested and they're getting more knowledge while they are coming on board.
Yes, I think just the knowledge coming from experienced people like yourself helps a lot. And it's important because, I think it's all about creating that visibility, the brand visibility. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. So people like you are making quite an impact in the lives of others. And well done to you. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
But Nelly, just on that, before we move ahead, you also, I'm not sure whether you are a mentee or a mentor with women in Africa.
I'm actually a mentee.
You're a mentee and I'm a mentor.
Isn't that nice?
Yes, because I think we met on the same platform. That's how we met.
That's how we met.
Yes, yes. Amazing. So
It's
you're one of 503 women entrepreneur finalists that was selected for the current training and mentoring.
Yes, I am.
That is amazing. Congratulations. That's a big achievement because I think they received about 5,000 entries or nominations, and to be one of the 503, that is incredible.
Yes, thank you very much.
So Nelly, what other awards and accolades that you received stands out for you? I know you've received quite a few. You had some grant funding, you've had some accolades and awards, recognition. What stands out for you? Do you want to mention any of them?
Okay, for me, I believe the accolades that really stand out of all that I've received, the first one is I think being a TIF entrepreneur was one of the biggest accolades. I actually won a grant with them. And for me, that was huge because I had an idea and I wasn't so confident if that idea would work. But pitching
Can I stop you there? Can I stop you there? A lot of people don't know what's TIF, and you are an ambassador as well. So maybe if you can just elaborate a bit more.
All right. Okay. TEF is the Tony Elumelu Foundation. It's a platform that allows entrepreneurs, as well as those who just have a business idea, to actually be trained on how to structure their businesses, as well as how to pitch if you want grant funding or if you just want funding generally from investors. They teach you how to come up with your business plan and how to pitch as well. They teach you, they also give you mentorship. So you get to have a mentor who's walked your path and is able to guide you on if you've got an idea. For instance, if you get into the program and you just have an idea, they guide you on how to make that idea a reality. Then if you're already in business, it's more about the growth of your business. In this case, I got into the Tony Elumelu Foundation as an entrepreneur who was already in business, and I was trying to grow my business. So I had an idea of something that I wanted to do in the business, but I wasn't sure if it was something that was viable or if it was going to actually work in the market. But the platform allowed me to pitch my idea, and voila, they loved the idea and I got a grant. And for me, that was the one step that actually gave me confidence to say, you know what, I'm onto something here and I know this can work. They also allow you to see beyond just your country. They allow you to see that you can actually implement that same idea in other countries as well. So whenever you come up with an idea, you need to think beyond just your country. You need to think further. But their emphasis is on impact. Your idea has to have impact. Right now, I know they are recruiting for the entrepreneurs are actually applying for the program right now. And it's a big deal because it's an opportunity for entrepreneurs. It's an opportunity, no matter how young you are, if you are ready to be in business, this is an opportunity that you cannot miss out on because it has given me a stepping stone in my business. My business has grown. You know, when I got into this program, I didn't even have a banner machine in my business. And large format printing was something that we were always subcontracting in order to service the market when it came to branding shops, etc. But because of the Tony Elumelu Foundation, we were able to purchase that banner machine. And it was not only about my idea, but it has helped the business to grow as a whole. And now we are able to also offer other services because of that one machine. So the Tony Elumelu Foundation was one of the accolades that I really take to heart. Then the second accolade that I received was one that I got this year. It was from the JB Dondolo. It's an organization that deals with impacting the Matobo district. They actually do provide water for the Matobo district. So they drill boreholes and make sure that there's water available. It's like a rural district. So they provide water for the women and girls in that area, so that their focus is more on going to school and making an income rather than walking kilometers and kilometers to get water. So they then gave me an accolade that was one of the 100 people who are trying to make the planet a better place, of which that was very dear to my heart, because my idea from the Tony Elumelu Foundation is actually what has actually drawn this accolade, because I'm looking at impacting schools. Right now, we are starting off in Zimbabwe. So that was something that really, it touched my heart to say, wow, someone out there can actually see what I'm doing, and they're actually acknowledging the little work that I've done, but it's being felt in another place altogether. And I just said, wow, that's something that really touched me as well. Then I was recently nominated as well for the Women Changing the World Awards. That one, I was nominated by Dr. Tererai Trent. And that's a big deal for me as well. Not only because I follow her and I admire her, but because Dr. Tererai Trent is also involved in schools as well. And that's just my passion, to be involved in the schools, to make the schools a safer place for the girls, safer place for all children. And so that's really something very close to my heart. For someone who's already doing that and making school education available to children and making schools a better place, I believe that it's really touched my heart to say, wow, she can actually see me.
Of course. Well, you're making an impact in the community, and that is important. You know, people see you for your hard work. And
Yes,
dedication
true.
and support as well. I think it's so important. There's a lot of people that are out there that are doing such great work, but they don't want to be recognized. And then there are others that would love to be recognized. And it's just about making a difference, and it's personal preferences. But you are doing great work, and you're out there. You know, I think with you being out there and getting these accolades and sharing it with others, it actually shows others that they can also do what you're doing and follow in your footsteps, because we need more people like you, actually.
No, that's true. It's actually a motivator.
Yeah.
I actually, in as much as I'm motivated to say, wow, someone can see what I'm doing, but it actually gives me strength to keep on going. But in the same way, it's supposed to motivate someone who's sitting and has an idea, and they're asking themselves, is this idea worth me trying? You know, I always say, rather try than fail than not try at all, because these are the opportunities that are out there. Your idea might just help the next person. It might just help hundreds of people, and you won't even realize, and you'll be just sitting on top of that idea.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think there's a lot of synergy between the two of us as well, with keeping girls in school and with my product. So we need to talk offline, because we did start the 1 million cup drive in Zimbabwe, and then COVID came, and then everything fell flat. So we need to divide that as well.
Yes, true. That's so true.
So, Nelly, just going on, you know, you have this vision to make a real sustainable impact on the local community by use of design and print tools, to build a safer and more peaceful learning environment for the children in Zimbabwe. And that is now aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. How do you plan on doing this? Or is it something that's already active?
Okay. Actually, it's something that's already in motion. My idea is actually, okay, let me give you a brief background of where it all started. I've got a daughter, she's now 14, but she was 12 years old about 2 years back, where she suffered from post-traumatic depression. And this post-traumatic depression was because she was bullied in school. And it really affected her. She was one of the best students in the class. But after she had been bullied, we realized that her health deteriorated to an extent where she couldn't bath herself and she couldn't feed herself. And we literally, you would talk to her, but you would not get a response from her. And the deterioration was really bad, to an extent that we had to help her to do everything until she got help and eventually she started recovering. But bullying is something that over time I realized to say, it's not something that you totally recover from. It's something that you can get to a better space, but you still need continuous help because the side effects remain there. You will always have times where you speak to her and you can't really get a response from time to time. And you have to have to be a constant support structure for her, because she needs to know that you are there and you will always be there for her and nothing is going to happen. But I then realized, as I spoke to other women, that this issue was not just something that I was affected by, but it was an issue that other mothers were also experiencing. Some actually said they had taken their children from one school to the other because of bullying. Some the bullying was in various forms. Some was physical, some was cyber. Some of the bullying you find is not only from student to student, like peer, but then you find that it also comes from the educator to the student as well. So now this was really something that concerned me to say, is it this prevalent? And I haven't actually noticed that this is how bad it is. I started to speak to educators as well. And some of them were actually shocked when I would tell them my story, to say, my daughter was like this, including one of her teachers actually said, I knew bullying existed, but I just didn't know it would get to this extent. Which disappointed me, because you would expect that an educator would know, and an educator would be able to pick it up early, which is something that I would have expected. But I realized to say, no. There's a gap that exists, and that gap needs to be filled somehow, somewhat in the marketplace, because people are out there and they are teaching our children, but there are things that they are not aware of. They've read about them from academics, but in the real life scenario, they've not had first-hand experience, and they don't know how to handle a case like that when it occurs.
Yes.
So I then said, you know what, I need to do something about this. Maybe coming from an experience where it was a first-hand experience, I then said to myself, no, I don't want this to happen to any other child. At the same time, I don't want any other mother or any other father to experience what I have experienced, because it really, really touched my heart when I saw my child going through that. It actually broke me. I had to pull myself together and say, no. This is happening to me for a reason, and I need to arise and make sure that something is done about it. So I say to myself, I've got a skill that I have. I've got a business that I run, and the business has grown a brand name in branding. It has grown a brand name in printing. We are known for quality printing, quality branding, and we've now got so many big organizations that are dealing with that. But I need to do something that impacts the community, something that will say, I'm not just doing this for money, but I'm doing this so that the community benefits from it.
Yes.
So I thought to myself, and I sat down with my husband, and I said, you know what, we've gone through this, but I think we can do something that will help the community. So we did a lot of research. We did surveys that went out to children in schools, and we got feedback from them. We realized how bad the situation was. We then spoke to other educators as well. And, we were getting feedback from different angles, and we're saying, now we've got so much information, but we need to penetrate the schools so that the schools can allow us to at least use our skills to raise awareness in the schools. So our short-term goal is to actually get into the schools, raise awareness, have counseling sessions for the students so that the students are able to talk about it, because it's so bad. In Zimbabwe, we've got students that have actually lost their lives. Recently, just a few days ago, another child was actually stabbed by another student. All because of bullying.
That is bad.
It's so bad. Shamila, you would not believe the things that are happening in these schools. So I say to myself, we cannot keep losing children because of bullying. And no one is willing to stand, maybe because of cultural norms that we have. We've built this norm to say African children are tough. African children need to learn to stand up for themselves, you know. But what we don't realize is not every child is as tough as you expect them to be.
Yes.
Every child is different. And every child takes in things differently. And we need to accept that each child is different. So we cannot expect that when one child is extremely tough, the other one should be just equally as tough. That is something that we cannot put on a table and expect from all the children. Children are different, they take things differently. Others are soft, others are tough. So I say to myself, you know, sometimes, you know, when you speak to the mothers, some will be for the idea, some will actually say to you, no, you guys, your problem is that you don't toughen your children. But, you know, it's a cultural norm. It's something that has been built over years, that we're now trying to transform that mindset and make people realize to say, no. We were so used to things being done in a certain way, but it's not working for the generations that we have now. It's actually making the situation worse. So we are trying to get into these schools, trying to make sure we raise awareness. We make them realize that there are causes and effects of bullying, because you cannot expect children to just know these things, because we come from different backgrounds. Our home backgrounds are different. Absolutely. We don't know what
it's the values that you actually instill in your children.
Yes, they are all different. We all come from different families. So what we are trying to do is actually to teach them. Let's start from scratch. Let's teach them what's right and what's wrong. Let's teach them how to be their brother's keeper and how to make sure that they look after the next person and they're not worried to say, what are others going to say if I help this person? We want to give them that confidence. We want to create that space that will allow them to even report when bullying is occurring. We want to involve an application where they can easily just send an alert to say there's this that is happening at the school and we need help. Do you get it?
Yes.
So that's what we are looking at is as a short-term goal. As a long-term goal, we're trying to make sure that we can get probably ways of getting funding, getting donors who can also, or partners who can partner with us to have counseling centers at every school. In Zimbabwe, we actually don't have counseling centers in the schools. So we are trying to make sure that there are counseling centers, because we are looking at it being more than just bullying. We're looking at issues of abuse happening at home. Have a first place to run to report, to say, I'm being abused. Can someone help me?
Yes.
So
and I think this is where it all stems from. You know, it stems from what happens at home. And
yes.
It has an effect on the children. But I'm also thinking about the teachers. I mean, I'm sure the teachers are also going through quite a hard time trying to handle these children.
Yes, they definitely are. I've had so many educators, so many heads of schools telling me that they're having a tough time. And the idea behind it is when we step in, we should have a way of working with the schools, as well as creating, maybe helping them have anti-bullying policies in place in the schools, if at all they exist. If they exist, reviewing those policies to make sure that they are not just black and white, but they are things that can be implemented on the ground. So it's quite broad. Yes. Our program is quite broad, but we are hoping that we can give a space of time where we can actually go and do the program, then go back and review to see, has it had an impact on the students? Has it had an impact on the educators? What is the administration saying? Is there an impact that the program is actually having on the children?
I think that is so important, yes.
Yes, and then on the graphic side, we would love a situation where we can actually remain with signages inside the schools that actually constantly remind the children, even the generations that are yet to come, that you can't have bullying in the schools. How do you help the next person? You know, just constant reminders, because scientists have proved that the brain processes images faster than just text. It processes images faster than just talking. So we want to make sure that we leave images around the schools that will remind the children of how to handle bullying. And in the case that there is a bullying occurring, who to run to? How do you handle a situation? If you feel that you've got a problem, you can't control your anger, who do you run to? Who can help you?
I think
So all that
that is very, very important to incorporate all of that. But sorry, we're just running out of time. I just wanted, yes, but is this all managed through your foundation, Lerato Foundation?
Yes, it's all managed through Lerato Foundation.
Where did you get the name Lerato from?
Lerato actually stems from my daughter. Her name is Lerato.
Okay, awesome. And Nelly, just very quickly, who inspires you?
Wow, I think my biggest inspiration at the current moment is Tony Elumelu himself at this particular moment, because I believe he has allowed me to see a side of the impact that he has done. He has done impact in entrepreneurs' lives. He has also taught us how to take our businesses and cause them to be an impact in the communities that we live in. So for me, that really inspires me. It makes me look beyond my day-to-day job, but to look just beyond that and say, how do I help with the little that I have?
Yes, I think that is important, that we need to actually have that as our mantra, daily mantra. You know, we need to get people on board to do what we're doing and just recruit more people all the time and just make this world a better place.
Yes, that's true.
Where to from here? What's your next?
Well, right now, our aim is to really grow that side of the business, the initiative. That's our main focus right now. And it's going to be our focus for, I think, quite the next coming years. And we are also looking at not just growing Lerato Foundation as a whole, but we're also looking at Graphic House growing in turn as well, because in as much as Lerato Foundation is at our heart right now, the business still has to go on, the business still has to grow. So we are also looking at the business growing as a whole. And I think we're looking at bringing in a lot more of the recent graduates into the business, so that they too can learn and take it as a stepping stone for when they then go out into the marketplace. You know, it's always good to get an opportunity to actually work where people can give you a time to grow, because most of the big organizations will not allow you to grow as fast as when you're in a smaller organization. Smaller organizations not challenge you to do more. So we want to,
and also just getting that first job.
Oh yes, just getting that first job, it's a plus for them. So we really want them to learn as much as they can from us, and so that they too can probably stand after us and have their own thing that they will run.
Well done. So Nelly, your last words?
My last words, I'm going to encourage an entrepreneur at home who probably is struggling every day. They wake up every day and they're struggling to run a business, which seems like one day it's failing, one day it's moving. Don't give up. It's important to keep on pushing. And if you've been listening to this interview, it's important for you to pick that, you know, have a business that you can impact to the world, so that someone's life is touched by your presence. I think that's what we live for the most, for us to have an impact on someone's life. So if your business has an impact on someone's life, it means it's solving something and it will become viable. So those are my last words.
Thank you,
And
Nelly.
I think, thank you as well, Shamila, for the opportunity to be here, to speak to you. I really enjoyed it.
It's great having you on the show. And I think people like you that's been through everything can actually share your story. And that's what the Red Corner Show is all about, stories to share, to inspire and motivate others. And you've done such a great job at that, just sharing your life experiences with the audience.
Thank you very much.
To the audience out there, if you would like to be on the show, please drop me an email, redcornershow@gmail.com. And you too could be sharing your journey on this show. Thank you so much for joining. Take care. God bless. Bye, Nelly.
Bye, Shamila. Thank you so much.